Season 1 saw us tick off a major milestone on this challenge. Arsenal, Premier League champions. Excellent stuff by the boys. But now we have one more challenge that we need to finish. Winning the UEFA Champions League. Can we win the Champions League in just our second season and conquer Europe and complete the challenge fully? Welcome back to Strikerless episode 4. If you go on to enjoy this episode, make sure you hit the like button down below and smash the big red subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes when they drop. Okay, let's crack on. So straight into the transfers, and I already said last episode that we brought in a new goalkeeper, Diogo Costa. Someone I've actually been keeping an eye on for the past year, and a very, very worthy replacement for David Raya. Yes, David Raya was very good for us in the league last season, but I feel we needed that world-class keeper to push us on in the Champions League. So in comes Costa. And everybody else who came in thereafter has purely been for squad depth. Sacha Bowie, backup right back, who, to be honest, is more of a director of football signing. He's the one who initiated and negotiated this. So I'm putting my trust in the director of football here, £36.5 million. He's hoping he is a good impact player for us in the Premier League. Other players who left, Sambi Lokonga, Tavares, Trossard and Zinchenko, all out the door. Trossard went for nearly treble the price that Arsenal bought him for in the first place. So Juventus, you paid over the odds. I don't care. We need the money because we have over £100 million to spend after all of that. Enough in the wage budget as well. And so I brought in a youngster whose name happens to be Ibrahimovic. No relation to Zlatan, of course, but 18 years old. He'll provide some squad depth, I guess, on the wings or in attacking midfield. I'll be honest, I didn't know what to actually spend the money on, so we've gone for, again, squad depth and youngsters. As just looking at the squads finalised for the season, Diogo Costa is the only new name to the starting 11. Everybody else, squad depth. That's been the key of our summer. The likes of Nico Williams will get more game time this season, especially in the Premier League. Also, we've got Fabio Vieira and Reece Nelson back from their loan spells, so they should provide extra depth as well as we chase the Champions League. Let's get to it. So we kick off the highlights with the first game against Liverpool, which is in the Community Shield, of course, as the reigning Premier League champions, and Nico Williams gets us off to an absolutely fantastic start. I told you he's going to be getting a lot more game time this season, showing exactly why that will be the case. I think it'd be a good little understudy for Martinelli or Saka. McAllister unfortunately equalising not long after for Liverpool. And that was how it ended until the penalty shootouts and Odegaard. I'm going to have to take you off penalties, I think, because you're just not convincing me otherwise. It's a shame for him. Nico Williams also nearly missing his penalty, but just about fools the goalkeeper. Darwin Núñez actually finding the back of the net. Don't hate Liverpool fans. Jesus, Núñez did better than Jesus there, he misses. So does Curtis Jones as Raya, who is in for the injured Costa at the start of the season. He manages to save the penalty. Everybody else does keep scoring their penalties, including all the defenders for Arsenal and Liverpool. Saliba and then Christensen, not bad for an impact defender. Chiesa steps up and scores. I think there was a couple of penalties I've actually missed out from these highlights, so we'll just see who actually gets the honour of the final penalty scoring. Kavor steps up, scores. Good goal from the impact defender. Kanate also scores. That's pretty much all the defenders. Oh no, Timber scores as well. We've got more defenders coming up. Robertson. Very good finishing from defenders. Very, very suspicious finishing. Bowie steps up, and I believe he's the one who won us the penalty shootout, because we do indeed draw first blood against Liverpool domestically this season. Community Shield in the bag, not a major trophy, but it's nice to get that taste of silverware very, very early on. Hopefully a sign of things to come, especially in Europe, as we chase down the Champions League. And speaking of the Champions League, it is the new format finally. The league phase, 8 games, and we've been given some very tough games. AC Milan kicking us off away at the San Siro. We've also got Manchester City, Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich in this league phase as well, so I think we'll do well to finish in the top 8 in this format this season, as I don't know what AC Milan were trying to do here, trying to play out from the back, but they just get pressed out of it by Odegaard, who slots the ball back of the net, and this is very early doors, within 4 minutes, and with just a few minutes later AC Milan have a corner, they score from it at the back post. I'm very disappointed. We're normally the ones doing that to other teams if on corners, and now we're having it done to us. Who is actually marking this guy at the back? I think that was... I don't know why that's Nico Williams. The man's not even 6 feet tall. To make matters worse, we have lost Saka to a fairly medium to long-term injury, which was not ideal, losing our elite winger. Wirtz, though, steps up, has a chance to put us ahead from a free kick not far out from the edge of the area. And just off the bar, very, very close. But we do indeed share the spoils with AC Milan. 1-1. Not bad away from home, but that's as good as the positives get. We lose Saka for 6 to 8 weeks. Not happy about that at all. And the injuries just starting to build up a little bit. Martinelli, Saka, Tierney. Oh god, Tierney. 4 to 5 months of a broken leg. That's not good news at all. We're going to have to manage this somehow. We have to have a look at the training or how we're playing. But nevertheless, we keep on marching in the Champions League. Bayern Munich at home this time. I thought it was an away game, but no, I was thankful on the day to realise, it's a home game. We have a big chance here. And that big chance was almost spurned inside the opening 2 minutes as that man, Harry Kane, Arsenal's bogeyman effectively, putting Bayern Munich 1-0 up. Or so it seems, because it's going to VAR, and VAR doing us an absolute solid by disallowing the goal. Just offside, and that was a warning shot after just 2 minutes. Absolutely nothing happened for the rest of the first half, so we come out in the second half swinging. Odegaard takes the ball forward, plays over to Saka. Just taking our time with the ball outside the area, plays it into Martinelli, who places it bottom corner of the net. But this time the referee going to VAR against us this time. Is this one going to stand? Or we going to... I didn't even need to finish that sentence. So VAR disallowed the goal. So disappointed. So let's have a look. Oh, come on. Hang on. Martinelli wasn't even offside. Oh, that was so harsh. Ref. We need VAR against VAR right now. Nevertheless, we continue going forward. Saka. Nope. And into Ben White. Sorry, just had a blank moment there. Into Thomas Partey. Shoots. Takes a heavy deflection, but it is in the back of the net. No question of offside this time. I don't even know if Thomas Partey's shot was initially on target, but it ends up in the back of the net, so who cares? 1-0. But then Bayern Munich get themselves a corner. It is just scrambled all over the area, and Jamal Musiala gets on the end of it. And yeah, that lead didn't last very long, unfortunately. And that again, that was the spoils shared as we lose. Oh yes, I completely forgot this happened during the match. Martin Odegaard, we lost him to 3 to 4 months. It seems like every time we concede a goal in the Champions League so far this season, no highlights then happen after I've made changes. I don't get that. But here's hoping we can break that trend against Young Boys. We have these 2 games left in the league's phase. Wirtz putting us 1-0 up on the Knights, which is just as well because we were still not guaranteed top 8 in the league phase. And I wanted to avoid that playoff round because that will mean 2 less games to worry about in February, especially with the injuries piling up this season, as that was just a sloppy pass to give Young Boys the ball back, and they just happen to get into the area and they've won a penalty. The one thing I will say about our defence, they just cannot tackle. I don't know what it is. They can be powerful, they can be strong, but they just can't tackle because it results in penalties like this. VAR does go in the way of Young Boys stepping up against Diogo Costa. Let's see if he can save us and start to prove his transfer fee. I mean, he goes the right way, but it is in the back of the net regardless. Lemmer scoring for Young Boys. It is 1-1. And at this point, I'm just putting us on attacking. I'm having to make some serious changes. Wondering whether to push my wing backs further forward, but instead I decide to push Partey further forward into central midfield. He goes as a box-to-box. I'll get there eventually. Nope, not ball-winning midfielder. I was thinking that, but no, it is a box-to-box. So he gets more attacking. Declan Rice going more attacking as a central midfielder as well, trying to pile bodies into the box at this point. Remember, we're still not using a striker after all this time. Calafiori does well to win the ball there. We have to work the ball very quickly forward. We are in the 91st minute at this point, still 1-1. 3 points is all I'll accept. Beautiful ball over to Nico Williams, and he duly delivers. It is 2-1 with just a handful of minutes to go in injury time, and that could prove to be a crucial 3 points in our bid to finish in the top 8. Now, normally at this point, I would say to teams, just take your time, waste the time down, but not this squad. No, Jesus, beautiful ball over to Nico Williams again, plays it into Havertz, and Havertz cruelly slots home 3-1. It is truly what we deserved, considering how the pattern of this game went. But as you can see, we are in third of the game to go. Still not guaranteed top 8, but it would have been far worse with just 1 point. So to the final game. I normally don't show these ones. The final game of the league phase or group stage, whichever format the competition is, but we just wanted to make sure of that top 8. Ball beautifully won, played forward to Saka, and he calmly slots it into the far corner of the net, and that proved to be the only real true highlight of the game, and it was enough to see us into the top 8. 3 points, thank you very much, and now we need to strengthen our squad depth in January, hence why Abdul Fatawu has come in from Leicester City, a backup on the wings, because Reece Nelson has gone out on loan. Purely for the reason Nelson's just barely been playing. He's only been playing the cup matches, which we were knocked out of early anyway. But Fatawu is a wonder kid. Comes in from Leicester for, I think, £36 million. So, yes, plenty of room to grow for the 18-year-old. And I think he's going to be a better addition compared to Reece Nelson. Just let Nelson go, and Fatawu will come in to replace him instead. He's the Presnel Kimpembe also came in January as well for a cut price £21 million from Paris Saint-Germain. He comes in as further cover for Saliba and Gabriel. Also, Champions League winner for PSG last season, so he brings that little Champions League know-how with him as well. I think him and Saliba, certainly when they're playing together, I think they'll get on very well. But the fact he's only £21 million, I couldn't turn that deal down. Really couldn't. So, great little addition. And also another player who can come in for Gabriel or Saliba while playing in the Premier League. Other than that, it's just been a mixture of loans going out. Reece Nelson I've already mentioned. Jakub Kivor, he's also gone out on loan to Everton. And everyone else is just a bunch of youngsters, to be honest. So now we are set for the second half of the season, and we get into the last 16 of the Champions League, drawn against fellow Premier League side Aston Villa, which was a weird one. I thought we couldn't face English teams in the last 16, but whatever. We are losing 2-1 from the first leg, so all or nothing in this game, as we almost equalised there on aggregates, and I was just hoping it isn't a case of spurned chances, as another chance goes begging after half an hour. But as you can see, first half, these chances coming and going. Martinelli smashes the bar, as I was thinking, please don't let it be one of those games. Thankfully it wasn't, because we came out in the second half absolutely buzzing. Saka, I thought he actually got taken out for a penalty there, but no, play continues. Partey mopping up in midfield again. Martinelli played through. Oh, no, how did he miss? I thought that was the chance that went in, but no, he missed a point blank sitter. Luckily though, he makes amends after Olsen in the Villa goal just completely messes up a clearance there, or getting hold of the ball there. Gathers up the loose ball, puts it into the back of the net. It is now 2-2 and aggregate 1-0 on the night. But Martinelli, after the chances he had earlier on in this game, he certainly deserved the goal. Oh, that's just poor by Olsen, but if he's going to have one of those games, absolutely fine by us. We will take full advantage. And take full advantage we did, as Wirtz just somehow ghosted his way through Olsen. Puts us 2-0 up, 3-2 on aggregate. And Olsen must be wishing the ground just swallowed him whole there, because that was just terrible by him. Turnover in midfield as Aston Villa try and play their way out from the back. But look at the amount of bodies we're getting forward there. 4 or 5 players, and we just press again. Martinelli spurning another chance. He could have had about 4 or 5 goals in this game alone. Wirtz plays the ball over to Saka though. First time finish, and that is 3-0, 4-2 in aggregate. We are looking good with 15 minutes to go. And speaking of that, 15 minutes to go, or in fact less than that now, look how many bodies we're still committing forward. 5 players, forcing Aston Villa to go long. Partey mops up in midfield. We play the ball back through, and Wirtz calmly finishes for 4-0. Aston Villa just cannot live with the press, they can't live with Partey, and they go tumbling out of the Champions League. Oh, hang on, we've got one more chance here, I completely forgot about this. So ball played back in to, who's that? I think that was Wirtz. Yes, it's Wirtz who's coming off the corner. Play back in. I think we got a fifth one here. Yep, we got a fifth goal. Havertz just left completely unmarked. And that is how the game finished. 5-0. Absolutely thumped Villa. I am feeling good for the quarterfinals. Bring on our next opponents. Oh, how those words came back to haunt me after this. Real Madrid in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. The 15-time European champions. This is going to be a test of whether we can actually win the tournament this season. And certainly from the off, Madrid's just having us under siege. Oh god, that was an early warning shot by Madrid there. But what they did here just seemed very criminal by our defence. I mean, we just left Tchouaméni completely unmarked from clearly a training ground free kick. And I was hoping VAR would just get us out of this little scrape and embarrassing situation, but alas, no. The goal was awarded, and just look at how much space Tchouaméni had. No defender was anywhere within 2 yards of him when he had that shot. Saka turns the ball over in the midfield as we take our first attack going forward. Wirtz, powerful shot into the back of the net, but there are suspicions of offside. Something I didn't initially pick up until I ended up seeing the replay, because it was offside unfortunately, which is annoying because we need to take all the chances that we can against Real Madrid. Wirtz, you should know better than that, man, come on. But Real Madrid, they come again, still into the second half, laying us under siege for most of the game until we managed to get the one chance to go forward, and this time Wirtz actually sticks into the back of the net for a goal that stands, and I was mightily relieved. I was even more relieved after Saliba just nods the ball down to Saka, and he takes it first time on the volley and powers it into the back of the net, 2-1 up. At home against Real Madrid, that's exactly what we need to have any chance against Madrid away at the Bernabeu. Lovely finish by Saka, by the way. Absolute elite winger. Worth that tagline in every single way. But again, Real Madrid's still laying us under siege. Tchouaméni plays in Mbappe, and Mbappe's just inevitable, isn't he? My gosh. I think I had a look at his stats before this game, and he's just been scoring freely the entire season in La Liga and the Champions League, so no great surprise he got on the score sheet. As Wirtz grabs another goal to put us 3-2 up. The man is having a productive day. If only that disallowed goal had gone in, might give us more of a chance going to the Bernabeu. I'm very aware Real Madrid are very, very strong, not just in this competition but at home as well. And we've shown that we are very strong here as well. That was the defender that's pushed the ball onto Wirtz, but it was certainly well deserved. 3-2. We take the advantage back to the Bernabeu, or sorry, over to the Bernabeu, and here's hoping it's enough to see us past Real Madrid, because this is going to be a very, very hostile game in the second leg. Quarterfinals, remember, the winner of this match gets Barcelona in the next round. We already know who our potential semi-final opponents are. So if we're gonna win the Champions League, we're gonna have to do it the hard way against top Spanish opposition. And Real Madrid instantly made us realise why it was going to be very, very tough at their ground. As Camavinga, playing at left back by the way, didn't even realise that when the initial match graphic came out. But their left back scoring in the opening 13 minutes from a corner as well. I just find it so disappointing when we concede from set pieces, because we're the ones normally doing that to other teams. The ball just ricocheted off his head. I think he only half knew about that as well. Rice gets the ball forwards. I think this one just summed up our day perfectly. Almost fumbled into the back of the net, but Courtois eventually grabs hold of the ball. That was as good as the chances got for us, unfortunately, as from there, Madrid just utterly dominated. Rodrigo smashing the ball past Costa. Can't blame Costa for that one, he just had a sea of bodies in front of him. But this was a very, very tough sit in the second half. No amount of changes that I made could do anything against this Real Madrid side, and I subbed quite a few of the heavy hitters. Saka was just having a poor game, so I ended up bringing on Nico Williams. Wait, did I bring on Martinelli or was it Saka? Sorry, did I take off Martinelli? No, it was Saka that I took off. But like I said, even taking off the big hitters did absolutely nothing against this machine known as Real Madrid. They're coming forward again, Camavinga into Vinny Jr. and Vinny Jr. just dances around our defence like they're not even there. Oh, we've been done by 3 of Madrid's best attackers. Rodrigo, Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. It is quite sickening, but at the same time it just shows the calibre of players that we are up against in the Champions League. The curse of Real Madrid, I believe they call it in FM circles. We do have another chance going forward. Wirtz does get the shot away. It is saved. I consider that like a half chance because you have to beat Courtois with something special. He is just that good of a goalkeeper. We have a good goalkeeper ourselves, but it wasn't enough on this night, and we crash out of the Champions League rather disappointingly. We do, however, have the consolation, air quotes, of a Premier League success, as a powerful effort by Saliba against Watford puts us on our way to actually securing the Premier League trophy for the 2nd season in a row. Yes, we wanted the Champions League, but at the same time, getting another major trophy down us is never a bad thing, is it? So let's take some positives from this. Beautiful goal, by the way, in off the crossbar. That's our centre-back doing that. That's just amazing. We do indeed wrap up the title very late on. Wirtz played in, and at the near post, crashes one beyond the already relegated Watford's keeper. It just sums up that we're just effectively taking out a Championship side to win the Premier League title. Back-to-back Premier League successes. We have done very well there. Domestically, fantastic, incredible. But it's Europe that we still want, and it was just disappointing to go out at the quarter-final stage. I mean, Real Madrid have just shown us the calibre of player that we actually need. But for now, enjoy the domestic success, boys. The Premier League title is staying at the Emirates for the 2nd season in a row. Congratulations, boys. It also helps that we've been able to rotate players in the Premier League this season. That has been a big part of the success. That is going to do it for the highlights. All that's left now is the post-season mortem for what we need to do next. And so here is the discussion that I was saying we're going to be having about what we're going to do with this squad for next season, because I've said before, Champions League is the focus. It's nice to win the league back-to-back, don't get me wrong, 2 major trophies. Fantastic, really, really happy about that, but the Champions League is really the one that I want. It's the one that we need to crack how we're going to win in Europe. So in terms of goals for the whole season, Florian Wirtz with 27 in 36 starts. I mean, nearly double what Saka and Havertz have been putting on the board. To be fair, Saka, 15 goals and he's been injured a few times this season, but one big layoff at the end of the previous year. So, yeah, understandable. 15 goals from him was very, very impressive. Havertz didn't start every game, although he did start a lot from deeper in central midfield. Nico Williams started a few more games. And as you can see, he's also got a lot of assists. Florian Wirtz, 18 assists. The guy is just world class. Absolutely worth the money we paid for him. I think it's now 104 million. Potentially 110. Still worth every penny. Nico Williams with 13 assists. Mikel Merino with 10. Much more productive season from him. Very, very happy. 4 goals and 6 assists in the league this season. And then Odegaard, who did miss about, a third of the season, so 7 and 8 from him was actually really, really good. So well done to our captain. But as far as, let's see, who's not been putting up any goals for us, apart from obviously Tommy Setford. Abdul Fatawu only just arrived in January, that's fine. Marquinhos only just came back from loan. Any names who really shouldn't be on there? I'm looking at... Actually, Fabio Vieira got 3 goals. Where's Jesus? 5 goals and 0 assists. See, I think Gabriel Jesus is one of those that we need to be moving on. He's a leading Premier League player, but is he someone who's going to help us win the Champions League? Probably not. He's a Premier League player, not a Champions League player. So I think we need to move him on, or if we do keep him, he's just solely for the Premier League. As far as other players, we may cash in on as well this summer. So Jesus will probably go. Sasha Bowie. Why did I let my director of football get this guy in? He has been an absolute waste. He started 0 league games. He started 2 games for us out of 18 that he played. That is horrendous. Now he might need to go. How much did we can get? Maybe 40-50 million for him. We paid 36.5. Oh my gosh, right. Add him to the list. He's got to go. Marquinhos may go, although he's injured. No, he's back in a week. It's the end of the season anyway. He's probably going to go. Wanyeri will probably go out on loan. Christensen. Why did I pay £60 million for him? Oh, 63. Rising to 68. It gets worse. We're not getting that money for him. No, we're not getting that money for him at 29 years old as well. He's barely played for us in the second half of the season. Yeah, might just have to cut my loss on Christensen. Absolutely flopped on that signing. I don't know what I was thinking. Kimpembe's just arrived. That's absolutely fine. I think those are the main three. So Christensen, Jesus, and possibly Marquinhos to go. Because we got also Reece Nelson. He went out on loan in January. He's already going to Nottingham Forest for about £11.25 million. So Fatawu will replace him. Nico Williams is basically replacing Jesus. Might need to get another winger in unless we keep Marquinhos. Might keep Marquinhos just purely for backup. He can play in the cup games. But in terms of players that we're actually going to be getting in, I've got nobody coming in for once. Already pre-arranged, not like Diogo Costa last summer. We made a healthy transfer profit in the last transfer, or in the last season, so very happy with that. Kivor is coming back, but he's going to be sold on. He's had a poor season at Everton. How did he do? 6.76. He's not a Premier League player. He's going to come back and then probably be shipped out. And is anyone else coming back from loan as well? Just a bunch of reserves who we could possibly get rid of or just send out again. As far as transfer budget goes, we've got 78.4 million in the bank to spend, and 5.4 million is now on the wage budget. So I think we've got about £500,000 that we can spend. Close to £500,000 on the wage budget. That is fantastic. So what I'm going to be looking for this summer, I'm looking at potentially another defensive midfielder. Yeah, Marino can play there. Thomas Partey, who's had a very good season there for us. Average rating doesn't show that, but I just feel he's been quite good, especially in the second half of the season, especially that little run there. But yeah, other than that, I think we need another defensive midfielder, especially... Oh, Jorginho, he can also go as well. So someone to cover Partey, someone to cover and Marino, who could play there. So can Declan Rice, but he's better off further forward. So defensive midfielder is going to be needed. I think also maybe another left back or right back. I'll keep an eye on that. Centre-back, we'll probably need another centre-back if Christensen is going to go, as well as Kivor. We need a fourth centre-back. Goalkeeper, I think we're fine, goalkeeper-wise. The wings, we are fine. Attacking midfield, certainly we're fine. Wirtz and Havertz can both play there. Central midfield. Do we need another one? Actually, no, because you've got Vieira, you've got Rice, you've got Odegaard. Marino can also play there. Oh, hang on, Marino counts as a world-class. He's just good Premier League player, but he says here world-class midfielder. Fantastic. Jorginho is going to go. Wanyeri will probably go out on loan. Yeah, I think it's mostly the midfield. I think it is defensive midfield especially where we're lacking. We need some world-class or elite players who are going to take us that bit further in the Champions League. And when I say a bit further, I mean actually win the whole thing, because we have one season left. One season left to win the Champions League. Otherwise... I mean, the challenge is not a failure. We won the Premier League. We've won a major trophy. In fact, two. We've won the Premier League twice. So to win the Champions League will be the icing on the cake. But otherwise, it's just a case of see what we can do in the final season. I still aim to win the Champions League. I want to win the Champions League. We've got one more summer to get it right. So let's go for it. Let's go and get that world-class elite player. £78 million. We're going to have to do it on instalments, but who cares? I'm not going to be here after next season. In the meantime, before the next episode drops, please let me know down in the comments section below if there is anybody you would like me to have a look at or even potentially sign for our final season. World-class elite players, I want the names. I want all the names. If you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit the like button down below and smash the big red subscribe button. Turn on notifications as well so you don't miss when the next episode drops. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your support on the series so far, and look forward to seeing you all in the next video.